We're beaming back down to Star Trek Deep Space Nine with IDW's brand new mini comic book series, Too Long a Sacrifice. Hey everyone, my name's Captain Jack and welcome to Trek Central. As mentioned, we are on issue 2 of Too Long a Sacrifice today, and it's fantastic to be back in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I'm going to dive straight into this review, but if you are new around here, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video. Just a warning, there is going to be spoilers here for the comic, so if you've not read it yet, then be sure to go and do so. If you'd like some good resources on where you can pick up this comic book, I left some links down below, but don't forget in these difficult times to support your local comic book retailers, as they're definitely going to need the help. Alright, let's jump into this. So issue 2 is beamed down onto our store shelves. We now dive further into the plot of a mysterious bombing that destroyed a restaurant on the promenade of Deep Space Nine. With Constable Odo as our guide, we're taken through a classic whodunit, with Odo taking on the role of a classic noir detective, a LA Humphrey Bogart, except with a more, shape-shifting in a way, because he is a shapeshifter, or a changeling. Now when we last left off in issue 1, Quark was taken into questioning for possessing materials that were used in a dastardly explosion. In the great words of Michelle Barrett, and now the conclusion. Okay, so despite Odo and Worf's intense line of questioning, Quark does claim innocent. Of course he would. It was always unlikely that Quark committed the crime, despite his usual nefarious dealings on the station. He's a rogue with a heart of gold, you could say, but would never go out of his way to do actual harm, let alone kill others. He claims that Nausicaans are framing him due to a bad business deal. However, before Odo and Worf can find any information, they are of course interrupted by a communication from Dr. Bashir. Another death on the station. But this time the victim is just one man, a Bajoran named Kaiden. The man died from multiple stab wounds in a maintenance area of Deep Space Nine. Unsure where to go next, Odo and Worf question Garak, our simple tailor, who was actually the last man to see the Bajoran alive, before his untimely demise. Of course, Garak claims innocent, and he is just a simple tailor, and leaves the two investigators with a haunting piece of advice. As Garak says, this station has more tales to tell than you even know, an even longer memory. Garak could be referencing to the Cardassian occupation of Bajor and their control of Deep Space Nine, formerly known as Terok Nor. The restaurant that was destroyed was owned by a Bajoran, and the man recently killed was also a Bajoran. Odo later discovers that Kaiden was a collaborator during the occupation, so perhaps the long memory Garak refers to is of those who were former collaborators of the Cardassian government. Perhaps someone is trying to exact revenge on these defectors. We've also seen this in the series of Star Trek Deep Space Nine before, when Bajorans who helped the Cardassian occupation when it was taking place were actually put to death by their own species. And there's a moral decision on who's to blame there, but DS9 does actually a fantastic job of exploring that in many episodes, and you should really go and watch them. Continuing on, seemingly at a dead end, Worf suggests to Odo that the two take on a more aggressive manner of questioning, and the two begin rounding up all criminals across the station. Eventually, the two capture the two Nausicaans who accuse Quark of committing the crime, but they too are a dead end. Later, Major Kira attempts to meet with a Ferengi trade delegation aboard the station. She enters their quarters to find them eating and drinking wildly. She tells them they're going to be late for the meeting when they suddenly start choking and gagging on their food. Kira watches helplessly as the Ferengi are killed before their eyes. Later, Bashir discovers that all of the species present ingested poison. This of course complicates the entire investigation, as the Bajorans are not only the ones being targeted. Captain Benjamin Sisko then meets with other high-ranking members of Starfleet. We see Sisko, a human, a Vulcan, and an Andorian as well as a Tellarite. This is an interesting touch as the four races were the founding members of the Federation. While they once worked together to forge peace, they now meet to discuss war. It's also interesting to see an Andorian and Tellarite used here, as neither species was featured prominently in Deep Space Nine or many of the other series besides the original series and of course Star Trek Enterprise, and Discovery as well. The officer's plan was to trade with the Ferengi to garner more torpedoes, but now that they have been killed, the hunt to stop the violence aboard the station has intensified. Captain Sisko informs Odo that Starfleet has assigned a special civilian investigator to take over the case. Odo is naturally offended by this, as DS9 is essentially his home turf. Nobody knows the station better than him. However, Sisko asks Odo to put his pride aside and work with the investigator, to which Odo reluctantly agrees. The crew travel to a docking ring to meet the investigator, who turns out to be a betazoid named Retlaw. He reads everyone's mind except Odo's, whom he says, "It's like you're not even here." As the issue closes out, Odo and Retlaw are bound to clash and vie for control over the investigation. The new investigator, Retlaw, has a natural advantage due to his mind-reading abilities, because he's a betazoid, but Odo has the home field advantage here on Deep Space Nine. We're going to find out how the two will put aside the differences to stop the violence aboard the station, and what we learn about this Retlaw character. He is just as much as mystery as a saboteur and murderer aboard the station. Keep an eye on our website and YouTube channel as we review Too Long a Sacrifice issue 3 coming out very soon. Of course, in the meantime, you can check out our written review available on the Trek Central website, as well as our other comic book reviews which don't always make it to video format. Again, if you are new around here and do appreciate these comic book reviews, make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video. A big thanks to IDW, this series of books is actually fantastic, and I can't wait to read more of their comic book series. In case you missed the recent announcement, there is a brand new Star Trek 7 of 9 comic coming out soon, so keep an eye on for that. For now, I've been Captain Jack. Thank you for watching here on Trek Central. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tell us what you thought of the comic down below in the comments section as per usual. For now, live long and prosper, my friends.